Hello. Hello.
Hey, Debbie, we can hear you,
Yes.
but it's loud
Okay.
in here, so
Okay. Uh, when the meeting starts over,
barely. Yeah, we can hear you, but there's a lot of people talking, so we're gonna,
okay.
I guess, just put it on mute for now if you don't mind.
Okay, I'm gonna mute me too. Okay. I've got it plugged in. We'll just leave it. Here.
Hamilton,
Here.
Taylor, Robinson.
Here.
Baxter.
Here.
Harris.
Here.
Insulaco.
Here.
Height. Present. So we have a quorum.
Please stand, everybody, for John Barber, say the prayer and the pledge of allegiance, please.
Let's bow our heads. Heavenly Father, we just ask your presence here tonight, Lord, as we gather together. I pray that you would give grace and wisdom to our leaders of this great city, Lord, that you would help them to make decisions that are best for the constituents, Lord, for all of those who they lead over, Lord. And we pray for their protection, and as well as the public safety people, the fire, police, emergency services, electric, Lord, be with them all, we pray. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second.
Ross.
Yes.
Hamilton.
Yes.
Taylor.
Yes.
Robinson.
Yes.
Baxter.
Yes.
Harris.
Yes.
Insulaco.
Yes.
Height. Yes.
Let's see, any communications need to be pulled? If not, I'll ask for accept and file.
To accept and file.
Motion
Second.
to accept and file, there's a second. All in favor? I'm sorry.
Aye.
Aye.
Yeah. It's
All right, do it then.
Ross.
Yes.
Hamilton.
Yes.
Taylor.
Yes.
Robinson.
Yes.
Baxter.
Yes.
Harris.
Yes.
Insulaco.
Yes.
Height. Yes.
Mayor, if I may.
Yes, sir.
Communication number 2 is just an email from me that I intended but was late to include in the last one, referencing some legislation then. Read it or don't at your leisure. It just mentions a couple things about the rehab agreement, some things I'm thinking about, and will include some future communication about. Just wanted to give a little summary of that.
Yeah, you sent an email on this, and I read it, so there's a lot of things we got to work on if we need to, and you and I talked about it. So everybody else
Wait
get a
for me
chance
to
to read
talk
it.
to everybody publicly, I guess.
I agree, I agree. Let's see, presentations none, so if we can go to unfinished business, nothing. Consent agenda, if I may, that's R 66 through 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, all the way through R 2477, if I'm correct. A motion to accept.
Does anybody want to?
Does anybody want to pull one or not?
Pull
Yeah.
any, and then
I'll-
all in
I've
favor?
asked, so.
If not-
R2467 needs to be amended. The map needs to be amended in, so we need to pull that one.
67, you need to amend that quitclaim deed, you say?
Yes, just amend in the map.
Oh, the map's attached to it. Thank you,
Yeah.
Debbie, I forgot.
That'll have to be called separately after.
Let's
we
do
the
that.
rest.
Let's call them all on consent agenda, except R 2467. There's a map attached to that by Ms. Ross. So if I can ask for approval on the consent agenda through everything except R 2467.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Nothing? All right, then R 2467.
R 2467, Mayor Hartwick.
Huh? Go. Oh, that's right. I was going to. Thank you, Diane. Jerry, if you'll come on up here, please. Debbie, hold on just a second. I want to do a swearing in for Mr. Dotson, since he was just approved.
Okay.
Thanks, Jerry. Appreciate you. R 2467, now we have got an amendment to that, is that correct?
Move to amend in the provided map.
Motion to amend and provide the map.
Second.
There's a second.
Move to,
We got to vote on it.
Do we need to get it on the floor first?
Say
Yeah,
that again,
before
Debbie.
first. We need to get it on the floor first.
Yeah, it's about to get on the floor, so.
Yep.
Got a bunch of mayors, don't we?
I know we do.
R 2467, Mayor Hardwick.
Let's call it.
Yes, sir. Resolution authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute a quitclaim deed to sell certain real property located on 4th Street in the city of North Little Rock to Shorter College.
Now there's amendment.
Now,
Move for adoption.
Move to amend in the map.
There should amend the map in the resolution. So all in favor?
no, this is
No,
called the roll.
I call the roll, this one,
Somebody
okay.
seconded the
Everybody
motion.
Second. Let's go.
Ross,
Yes.
There you go.
Hamilton,
Yes.
Taylor,
Yes.
Robinson,
Yes.
Baxter,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Insulaco,
Yes.
Height,
Yes.
Move to adopt as amended.
Second.
Motion adopted, amended.
Ross,
Yes.
Hamilton,
Thank you.
Yes.
Taylor,
Yes.
Robinson,
Yes.
Baxter,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Insulaco,
Yes.
Height,
Yes.
Thank y'all.
All right, moves to new business, Mayor.
Please.
R 2478, Mayor, Councilmember Ross and Hamilton,
Please call it.
approving a change order and authorizing the mayor and city clerk to enter into an amendment for the Park Hill Community Jumpstart Improvement Project, authorizing payment to Shield and Associates.
Move for adoption.
Second.
Motion adopted, second.
Ross,
Yes.
Hamilton,
Yes.
Taylor,
Yes.
Robinson,
Yes.
Baxter,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Insulaco,
Yes.
Height.
Yes.
That moves us to condemnations.
Yes, sir. Let's read them, and then I'll call public hearing on these after we get them read, okay?
Yes, sir. R 2479, 1000 West 52nd Street. R 2480, 2305 North Berkeley Drive. R 2481, 4409 Coral Street. R 2482, 4413 Coral Street. R 2483, 4801 Sycamore Street. And R 2484, 2223 Railroad.
Thank you very much. I'm going to convene a public hearing on these. Those wishing to speak for or against, please come forward. Those wishing to speak for or against R 2479 through R 2484, please come forward. Seeing none, I'll adjourn this public hearing.
R 2479, Mayor Hartwick.
Please call it.
A resolution declaring certain buildings, houses, and other structures located at 1000 West 52nd Street in the city of North Little Rock to constitute a public nuisance and condemning said structure, providing a period of time for property owner to abate said nuisance.
Move for adoption.
Motion second.
Ross,
Yes.
Hamilton,
Yes.
Taylor,
Yes.
Robinson,
Yes.
Baxter,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Insulaco,
Yes.
Height,
Yes.
R 2480, Mayor Hartwick.
Please.
A resolution declaring certain buildings, houses, and other structures located at 2503 North Berkeley Drive in the city of North Little Rock to constitute a public nuisance and condemning said structure, providing a period of time for property owner to abate said nuisance.
So move.
Second.
Motion second.
Ross,
Yes.
Hamilton,
Yes.
Taylor,
Yes.
Robinson,
Yes.
Baxter,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Insulaco,
Yes.
Height,
Yes.
R 2481, Mayor Hartwick.
Please.
A resolution declaring certain buildings, houses, and other structures located at 4413 Coral Street in the city of North Little Rock to constitute a public nuisance and condemning said structure, providing a period of time for property owner to abate said nuisance.
So move.
Second.
Motion second.
Ross,
Yes.
Hamilton,
Yes.
Taylor,
Yes.
Robinson,
Yes.
Baxter,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Insulaco,
Yes.
Height,
Yes.
R 2482, Mayor Hartwick.
Please.
Resolution declaring certain building, houses, and other structures located at 4409 Coral Street in the city of North Little Rock to constitute a public nuisance and condemning said structure, providing a period of time for property owner to abate said nuisance.
So move.
Second.
Ross,
Yes.
Hamilton,
Yes.
Taylor,
Yes.
Robinson,
Yes.
Baxter,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Insulaco,
Yes.
Height,
Yes.
R 2483, Mayor Hartwick.
Please.
A resolution declaring certain building, houses, and other structures located at 4801 Sycamore Street in the city of North Little Rock to constitute a public nuisance and condemning said structure, providing a
for
period of
adoption.
time for owner to abate said nuisance.
I thought he.
No problem.
Move for adoption. Second.
Right, Ross,
Yes.
Hamilton,
Yes.
Taylor,
Yes.
Robinson,
Yes.
Baxter,
Yes.
Harris, Insulaco,
Yes.
Height,
Yes.
R 2484, Mayor Hartwick.
Please.
A resolution declaring certain buildings, houses, and other structures located at 2223 Railroad Avenue in the city of North Little Rock to constitute a public nuisance and condemning said structure, providing a period of time for property owner to abate said nuisance.
Move for adoption.
Second.
Ross,
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
Height?
Yes.
O 2416, Councilmember Taylor.
Please call it.
An ordinance rezoning certain property located south of Highway 165 and west of Cypress Crossing subdivision in the city of North Rock, Arkansas, from I-2 to RU, R1, R4, and R5 zoning classification by amending ordinance number 9263, adopting an amended land use plan for the subject property, declaring an emergency. First reading.
Move to suspend the readings.
Second.
Motion suspend, second.
Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
Height?
Yes.
Motion for adoption?
So moved.
Second.
Okay.
But I have some questions of planning.
Planning, Sean, come on
And
up,
is the
please.
developer here? No developer? Representative of the developer?
Thomas Pownell's here, I saw him earlier.
Pownell?
Yes.
So here's my question. And I had a conversation with the fire marshal today. So I'm looking at Cypress Crossing on that map. About 100 homes, one ingress and one egress, one way in, one way out. And now we're talking about putting it in another subdivision with townhomes, apartments, and I don't know, maybe about another 100 houses with one ingress and egress right there by Dollar General. And then both of these subdivisions connecting at the back road, Boat Arc. I don't think that's enough, ingress and egress.
Sean?
So that was a statement and a question, and what happened? I mean, and I know it's not, I'm not saying that you did it, but.
It's went through subdivision and meets codes, so I mean, it's.
Can you kind of point to where is anybody here is it? Thomas, can you tell me where they're supposed to be getting into this subdivision at, possibly?
The new subdivision we have, hold on, I'm gonna shake.
Here you go.
The new subdivision is coming in.
You need this, Sean? All right, got it.
That's fancy, Sean.
I know, right? Make me nervous here.
Always with me.
All right, that's our entrance for our subdivision right there, and you're right.
That's the new way in and out of the new subdivision.
Right.
So point to the in and out of Cypress Crossing,
Right there.
right there, all right? Only way in, only way out of that subdivision, only way in and only way out of this new subdivision.
Right.
I don't think that's enough.
It's your ordinance, Mr. Taylor.
Doesn't
I know.
appear to be enough. It doesn't appear to be enough.
Well, and the reason why I say it's not enough is already the citizens or the constituents out in Cypress already catch hell, excuse my language, getting in and out of
165.
Yeah, out of Cypress Crossing. So we're gonna add another couple hundred vehicles coming in and out of Stillwater, and only have two ways, one way in and out of each community.
Right. We've got 63 lots, but then that does not count.
The townhouses.
No, the apartments. So there's 63 lots, but plus the apartments, which are on the northwest corner, right?
So then it'll be,
I forget how many apartments, I don't know how many it is, but
and then how many townhouses?
they all operate as single-family homes, though.
Yeah, I know, but,
Oh, hold on. Not sure exactly, but I can tell you.
That's a lot of people.
yeah. And then let me throw another kink in this deal. Sean, you get your little fancy little pointer? Up in that upper right-hand corner, right there, right? Nope, right to the left of that. Come over to the left, right there. That's a proposed school. So this is gonna put it in a school, K through 12.
Have you seen that? I haven't seen that either.
Yes,
Church.
and a church.
Yeah, that's the church
is
right
it
there.
10 students
I know
or
that's the
5
church. I don't know if they have a school, but that's
Is-
the church. Yeah.
They're busting at the seams where they are right now, so it's not 10, it's probably, I don't know, how many students they got down there.
they
You
planning
yield,
on
Mr.
increasing.
Hamilton?
Oh, absolutely.
Mr. Hampton?
So I mean, I can hear what Councilmember Taylor's talking, I mean, I can see it, but Sean, what's the, and Fire Marshal, I guess, what's the, I mean, is one way in and out for that Cypress Crossing right now, they're having issues?
Gets pretty tight in mornings.
Is there a standard for like how many single-family homes can have, I mean, what's the, I don't know, what's the science behind it? Is it 100 homes for one access up to a street like 165, or is 500 the standard? Are there standards for something like that, Mr. Engineer?
Not particularly. You can do a traffic count, and so it's a study. It's not a standard, it's a study. So you have so many turning movements
And then we
things like
get to
that.
decide that's too many? Or that's perfectly fine? You're letting me
Somewhat.
make that decision?
No, the study will show one way or the other.
Okay.
No.
So here's my fear, and this will probably never, ever, ever happen. At least it's my prayer that it never happens. But we've seen it happen in Texas. We've seen it happen in Hawaii, in where these huge fires just jump off. All of a sudden, you got a fire. These fields out there are burning, and because there's plenty of fields out there, especially in the summertime, nice, hot, and dry. All of a sudden, you got a fire, and not to say that our wonderful fire department couldn't get over there and put it out, but just too much wind and too much fire, and just conditions are perfect. These houses start burning. People are trying to get out of this neighborhood and trying to get out of this other neighborhood. I think we got a problem. I think we'll still have a problem if we had a third way in and out, but that would make me feel better.
I'm sensing a roundabout.
Oh, you're not sensing a roundabout out there, brother.
I don't know. I don't know what is safe and what isn't safe. I usually don't try to trust my instincts on that because my instincts are usually way off when it comes to engineering stuff. I know Maumelle, a city of almost 20,000, had two ways in and out. And they were screaming for a third entrance. That was the third entrance for a community of 20,000 single-family homes. And they got their third entrance, and they were perfectly fine. They were happy, or they're happy now.
Well, Maumelle was a little different. Maumelle we're not talking about people trying to come out of these.
It's more dense, for sure.
Yeah, out of these actual subdivisions. We're talking about people trying to get out of the actual city itself. Don't get me wrong, I like the development. I think, like everything that's going on with it, my only problem is I don't think there's enough ingress and egress. That's my only issue.
Okay.
Vince Locke.
Quick question. To the left of that blue building, upper left, where the apartments are going to go, to the left of it, is it possible to put an exit in a street right there, heading towards 165? That way specifically for the apartments?
We don't have any ownership in that land, so that would have to be negotiated, if even possible, sometime way in the future. Our only access is that access right there.
Mr. Taylor,
They need to go back and look at it.
you want to hold it?
This is what I'll say about as far as count and number. So to satisfy fire code, we need one entrance and an emergency entrance, and it's right there, and we've satisfied fire code. That's
You got emergency entrance going where?
right there.
You can't go there.
Mhm.
How do you go? That's a ditch there.
They're gonna put a bridge across
I'll
it.
put a bridge across there?
Yeah.
I can engineer that.
Okay, I just knew there was a big ditch there is what I'm saying.
There is.
Good
yes.
engineer.
But
So,
okay, but see, here's my problem with that. So in the case of an emergency, everybody's trying to get out of these subdivisions, so we're gonna pour these other couple hundred people over into this other subdivision so they can get out.
Or to put it another way, in an emergency, they now have two options. If one becomes blocked, there's
Only
a
got one.
second, there's another one.
Yeah.
Mayor, could I speak, please?
Miss, go ahead, Debbie. Go ahead, Ms. Ross. Yes, ma'am.
Is the fire chief there, somebody from the fire department that could speak about this for us?
He is, he's here. He's behind Mr. Parnell.
I'd like to hear their thoughts.
Go ahead, you're up.
Okay, so what the fire code says is if you have a development, Warren Allman, Fire Marshal for the city of North Little Rock. What the fire code says is if you have a development that's got more than 30 single-family homes or a certain number of apartments in a multifamily development, you have to have either 2 ways out or every house in there has to have a fire sprinkler system. And so it says emergency egress. It says fire department vehicle access road is what it says you have to have 2 of. And there's exceptions to that. One exception, if they're sprinklered, you don't have to. That pretty much explains the purpose for requiring 2, is so if the sprinkler systems are there, it buys time for the fire department to gain access. So the purpose of the road, the fire apparatus access road, is to allow emergency vehicles access in an emergency, provided the one-way in is blocked. So basically, if they tied these 2 roads together, even though this might be a gated community on the other side, they would have a gate there. But in the event of emergency, we would have the ability to open that gate and then allow us or an ambulance to come in from one side to get to the other side.
Well, that
Either way.
gate works automatically anyway, Chief.
No, he's talking about
on the other side?
Hey, Sean, use your little fancy device.
Got you.
He's talking about putting a gate back there where the bridge
Oh,
is
you're
gonna
talking about
be.
where the bridge is?
I'm talking about where the
Yes.
bridge is.
Oh, okay. I was thinking where you're going to Cypress Crossings. So you have to have that gated auto.
So right there,
Yeah.
this area right, what's proposed is that this area right here is a kind of a gated community, and it'll have a gate coming from either side to access it.
Wow.
But we can open the gate. Let's suppose this road is blocked for whatever reason. An ambulance needs in here. We can open these gates so that an ambulance can get in there. If an ambulance needs in here, but this road is blocked, we can open these gates and an ambulance can come in here, or a fire truck, or if somebody in here needs to get out, we can get them out. But that's not necessarily designed to handle the traffic flow of evacuating both of those entire communities. That's about getting vehicles in that need to get in and vehicles out that need to get out in an emergency.
Sorry, Mr. Hampton?
So a development of more than 30 single-family homes has to have 2.
Either every house has to be
Emergency,
sprinklered.
Sprinklered or 2 options.
Or 2.
What's the second option for that? There's more than 30 homes there. Is there a second option for that one?
Right here, okay, so
Yeah.
it actually says in there that if the fire marshal agrees that future development will allow a second access to be added, then they can go ahead with this one. So, and that's what these little roads here, in the future, it had to be, the assumption was by the fire marshal at the time that this was approved, is that eventually there would be further development around that they could tie into.
So that development doesn't meet the 2 entrance standard yet, but the fire marshal, or the fire department and the legislation anticipated that it would.
Anticipated that in the future there would be a second way in when the development proceeded.
Ms. Robinson?
Even if there's not a fire or not an emergency, in my opinion, you're still going to have a backlog of traffic, of people trying to get out of their neighborhood every day to 165 to go to work. And I'm sure the people in Cypress Crossing, they probably don't want people, coming through their cutting through their neighborhood to get to work. So in my mind, and I'm not an engineer, and I like the project, I like the name Still Waters. But we need another entrance for exit. We do.
Mr. Hampton.
My question, and I take to heart the traffic issue. I can understand the traffic issue for sure. We dealt with it with the point at North Hills, on North Hills Boulevard, people complaining about there were going to be too many people coming out on North Hills. But I come down to, if it's, the fire code is the law for safety, In terms of traffic, I tend to come down on, that's a market condition. If people want to move to a high traffic area where there's lots of cars, and they can sell that property, a developer can sell them a home in that area where they've got some traffic, traffic is more than a rural farm, then let the developer roll the dice. If the safety issues are taken care of, then I tend to say, okay, but it's not my legislation. If you want to pull it, send it back, I'll support y'all.
Mayor, could I speak?
Debbie, hang on.
I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. Debbie, go ahead, please.
Okay, so my question is, when it kicks into, when they do add more projects or more housing or whatever to this, when does that kick in, and who is in charge of making sure that there is that second? Is that planning when they approve their subdivision review for the project, and how do we know? Because he said it was in the future. It was, they were going to have a second one. So when does that kick in, and who is the one that makes sure that kicks in, that second is added?
Did you understand, Mr. Spencer, what she said?
So, as you stated, we can't control when the neighbor develops, but in this case, the one we're looking at right here, there's, they had planned for 5 additional entrances into that neighborhood. So there's 1 there, 2, 3, 4, 5. They planned for future 5 more connections. Now, it could be 100 years before that happens, but that was their plan, and they actually built it to, they built the concrete road almost to the property line for that future connection.
Did we
Amy
approve
had a
that?
question, Mr.
Yes.
Ham.
The city council approved
Oh, did city council approve it? No, that was just, it met all the requirements.
for planning?
Yes.
Ms. Fields.
And I didn't have a question, but what Councilmember Hamilton was saying about traffic, that it's not a concern to him. I just want to inform the council that traffic concerns are a legitimate concern, whatever weight you want to give them when you are making land use decisions under the law. So whatever weight you give it, it's not, that you can consider that in making your decision.
So let's go back, hang on a second.
It's heavily weighted when you got, there's a ton of traffic out on 165. I mean, a ton of it. And we're gonna dump another couple, I don't know, two cars per household, another 150, and then we throw the school in there, what's probably gonna happen within the next 4 or 5 years. We gotta start getting these things right on the front end, and going back and trying to fix them doesn't do this body any good, because that's what the problem is right now with Cypress Crossing is. It should have been built with 2, but we let it by with 1. So now we're gonna add this other one, and then we're gonna let it by with 1. So now you really got a mess. And you don't know if your developer will, you don't know what he'll do you?
My developer wants to build the project and get it rezoned. How's that? So that's what we want to do. We've got it approved. We've got it through the city. We're asking for a rezoning here. Now, you can't make your decision, as you stated, on traffic and things like that.
Mr. Baxter?
If I satisfy the fire marshal, I'm usually pretty happy.
Mr. Baxter?
So if I'm understanding this correctly, based on what this property owner has, there is no other way for him to put another entrance on the land that he owns. Is that correct? Because there's supposedly a church and something going up in that other
That's right.
area?
That's right. The red box he has, that's what he owns.
Oh, I guarantee you there's opportunities for an access easement. Guarantee you.
Mr. Height?
Well, what I want to say is, if we vote on this tonight and it doesn't pass, it's going to be a year before you can bring it up again. What I think you ought to do is either pull it or withdraw it and come back with a plan that is more acceptable to the city council.
Or we can just hold it until the next meeting and until we can hash out this other ingress and egress. I mean, like I said, I love the project. Hopefully I can sell a couple of those houses.
Be great.
Mr. Taylor? Hang on, Tom. So what's your pleasure?
My pleasure is to some kind of way get another way in and out of these communities. I'm telling you, it is going to be a mess.
So would you like to hold this right now?
Hold it.
That's fine, Alderman Taylor.
Okay, we'll hold it.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Thank y'all very much. Okay, let's go. Thank you, sir.
02417, Councilmember Taylor.
Oh, please call it.
Yes, sir. An ordinance rezoning certain property located at the corner of West 4th Street and Orange Street in the city of North Little Rock, Arkansas, from R5 to C6 zoning classification by amending ordinance number 9263, declaring emergency. First reading.
Move to suspend the readings.
Second.
No suspend, second.
Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insularco?
Yes.
Height?
Yes.
And while y'all know, I've got 1, 2, 3 people, well, 2 people wanting to talk about this, 02417. The first one on my list is Patrick Stair. Mr. Stair? Come on, identify yourself, please come to the mic. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Come on up to the mic. Yes, sir.
May I speak on 17 and 21? It's the same thing.
Well, we're talking, okay.
What I've
Has a
said.
pleasure. Is it okay with the council? He speaks on 17 and 21?
Absolutely.
Let's do it one time and do 30. Yes, sir, please, sir.
Save a couple of minutes. My name is Patrick Stair. I live at 411 West 5th Street, a couple of blocks from the proposed site. I would like to say that I'm fully supportive of 02417, the townhomes, and 02421, the event center, also by Mr. Engstrom. I and my wife moved into Argenta in '98. Mr. Engstrom was already in there, had been there for a few years. He settled down in that area before Argenta was cool. So I've had some experience dealing with him and his work. At a neighborhood meeting a few days ago, he described the projects that he's going to do with the townhomes and with the event center. And in my opinion, I think the plans that he described are compatible with and supportive of the neighborhood, particularly these 2 items, the townhomes and the event center. I think these 2 projects will help preserve the church and also utilize a bare lot, which would be a great improvement over what we currently have 2 blocks north of there with a warehouse and a bare lot. I think this would be real nice to see that church used and refurbished. As I said, Mr. Engstrom has done quite a bit of work down here since '98. In particular, if you look at the Manese house, if I need an example of what type of work he would do, taking over old buildings and putting them to use, all I have to do is look across the street from this project to the Manese house, and I'd see a really good example of good urban infilling. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. The other ones that's speaking is Mr. Engstrom. You want to speak on 17, or you want to hold it, Alan? Okay. Right now, you have you speaking on 17, 20, and 21. So do you want to come to the mic for any questions? and we're talking about 2417, but he signed up for 20 and 21, and Mr. Stair spoke about 17 and 21. So is there any questions right now or anything you'd like to say?
He had mentioned to me that the map that was attached to O2417 was incorrect and that it only has 4 units instead of 5 that was listed. Was that something that we?
That's correct. Something,
You got the map? Okay.
just to be clear, there's only going to be 4 units.
So any questions for him? If not, I'll go ahead and go forward with this. None? Thank you, Alan. Appreciate it. So right now, we're on 2417. There's been, rules have been suspended. There's been a
No,
motion,
ma'am.
I think. Is there?
Motion to adopt?
Second.
Right. Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
Height?
Yes.
On the emergency, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
O2418, Councilmember Taylor.
Please call it.
An ordinance rezoning certain property located at 1001 West 4th Street in the city of North Little Rock from P1 to C6 zoning classification by amending ordinance number 9263, declaring emergency, first reading.
Move to suspend the readings.
Second.
Motion second.
Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
Height?
Yes.
Motion to adopt.
Move for adoption.
Second.
Go ahead. There's a motion to adopt and there's a second. Mr.
There
Taylor.
was, there was some, Mr. Pownell, there was a couple questions about, number one, what exactly was the developer gonna do? And then the second question is, because this map doesn't show any accommodations for parking.
Okay, there's a map submitted with planning. I have one copy here, but basically, we're asking for C6 use that allows anywhere from residential, office, commercial. What he'd like to do is have the mixed use availability of, it's been discussed, but we want all the C6 uses, but it's been discussed, office on the bottom of a building, residential on top, appropriate parking.
So you're going to have parking underneath the townhouses? Is that what you're saying?
No, we don't know, but we'll have enough parking by code for sure, but we'll
If you
provide
go-
parking.
If you go C6, if I'm not mistaken, C6 doesn't have, you don't have to have any parking. Is that correct? Sean?
For residential, you have to have parking, one per
John?
unit.
Come here, please. Describe to me C6.
C6 would be what we would call downtown zoning, so it's 0 setbacks on the front and on the sides, very small setback on the rear. Allows 0 parking requirements other than for residential, and if it's residential, it's 1 car per unit.
Okay.
And usually, it's about 2 cars per unit for a regular apartment complex, so. it
And
cuts
that's
it
why I
down
want
in
to make
half.
sure everybody in the audience and our council understands what a C6 is, so, okay.
So if that develops commercial, they would not have to have parking on site.
So if you look at the map that was submitted with the legislation, back on, I think it's 4th Street, there's ingress and egress, and then there's parking accommodations for the existing drawing that they have with the legislation, so.
And with being a rezoning, we didn't include that because it's not, you're not voting on that plan. You're voting on the rezoning, and so that plan, they could throw that away and do something else.
Thank you, Mr.
with
Spencer.
no asking or anything, so that's why we usually don't include it on a straight rezoning.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else? Where are we?
We're ready to vote, sir. Ross?
I have one quick question.
Oh, sorry, ma'am.
Go ahead, Debbie.
Okay. So if it's strictly going to be street parking, basically, is what you're saying, if it's rezoned, correct, to C6? Is that correct?
Yes.
Other than residential, they will have to have 1 spot per unit.
Correct, and
For
that's
the
their
5 units.
option. So I mean, they don't, they could do parking if they wanted to. So it's not they can't do it, if that's their option.
Okay, have we had any calls or anything from residents as far as, if there's no parking there, then it's going to be pushed out into the neighborhood?
There's not.
So I'm just curious. How much?
Ms. Ross, I had a couple of calls as far as what it was going to be, and if and who owned it, and let's see, what was gonna be, who owned it, and was it a park that the city owned? So those were the three questions I had, and I had one phone call.
Okay. All right. I'm good.
Okay.
So where are we? Is it my turn to
We're
vote?
asking for you to vote for it or vote against it. It's your vote.
Yes, yes, yes.
There you go.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
Height?
Yes.
On the emergency, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
Height?
Yes.
O-2419, Councilmember Taylor.
Please call it.
An ordinance granting a conditional use to allow warehousing in a C4 zone for certain real property located at 810 Michaela Drive in the city of North Little Rock, declaring emergency first reading.
Move to suspend the readings.
Second.
Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
Height?
Yes.
Motion adopted.
So moved, but
Second.
There's a motion second, but then Mr. Taylor.
so, and just to digress just a little bit, as you see, this area out here is just growing like wildfire. So now we're finna put this warehouse there. There's another lot that's next to that, so I'm sure that'll be developed. All of that traffic's pouring out on 165, along with the existing subdivision and the new subdivision. So I just thought I'd throw that in there real quick. I thought I'd throw that in.
We're on the call the vote.
All right, sir. Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Well, what do you want me to do? I mean,
Oh, no, that was for my old legislation. Yes, for that one.
so you're not concerned about parking on this one?
No, not at all.
Or ingress,
Or ingress or egress, he
So
said.
the comment was for the traffic, for the old legislation that they would have to deal with that traffic coming off of there as well.
A lot of traffic with only one ingress and egress.
You missed my point, but
I did. I think I did, but you like this one?
I do.
I vote yes.
All right. Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
Height?
Yes.
On the emergency, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
Height?
Yes.
O-2420, Councilmember Taylor.
Please call it.
An ordinance granting a conditional use to allow a daycare center in a C6 zone for property located at 201 West 4th Street in the city of North Little Rock, declaring emergency first reading.
Move to suspend the readings.
Second.
All right. Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
Height?
Yes.
Before we go any further, I've got people wanting to speak on this. I think Chris Kent, you're one, and of course, Alan, you're another. So, Mr. Baxter, you have anything first? You want to let them talk?
I just, real quick question, and normally on these type of diagrams, we see where the playground is, but I don't see the playground identified on here. Can someone help me out there?
I apologize for that oversight. There is a small
Yeah,
parcel.
identify yourself again, please, sir.
Sorry?
Identify yourself, please.
So I'm Alan Ingstrom.
Thank you, sir. Did you hear the question?
Yes, I heard the question.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
There is a small parcel of land actually on the north boundary across the alleyway. There is a small parcel that's about the size of 2 parking spots that came along with the church. That would be an ideal place for a playground.
And I have another person, anybody else? Mr. Kent, you're supposed to speak on this also.
You've got some other pictures, right? that
Yeah,
Zoom in a little bit.
What's that? Yeah, I sent some in to Diane before.
Chris, go ahead and identify yourself.
My name's Chris Kent. I'm a property owner and resident at 214 West 5th Street. I border the playground part of this project. It is a conditional use for a daycare center in the alley there between Orange and Maple. And one of the proposals by planning was, due to the danger of children crossing the alley, that vehicle access be limited to through the daytime hours of the daycare being opened. That would be from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. You know, we have multiple properties back there that are residential that utilize this alley every day, and we park in the back where our garage is. They're proposing a max of 50 children
that will be using this playground in the alley. And also, it said in section 5 of the ordinance, it determined that the conditional use described herein is compatible with other businesses in the area. And we disagree, as my wife has an acupuncture business on the ground floor of our building at 216 West 5th Street, which was approved 5 years ago as a quiet business as a PUD. So we followed those rules to keep that quiet business and do it that way. So she has followed those rules. There are also some other income-producing properties there, just that it's kind of wedged in with 3 properties around it. One of those properties is a duplex owned by Judge Joe Volpe, and I have an email from him where he is opposed to this playground. Another property is owned on the corner of Maple and the alley. They're owned by Curtis Arnold. I have an email from him as well with some concerns because his tenant parks in the back of that alley. She works at Draft and Table, works at night, sleeps a lot during the day. So that gets me to the next part of this, which this piece of property falls within what is known as the Quiet Commercial District of Argenta. And I really didn't know much about that, but I found it in another ordinance that was attached to the council meeting today. So with that, it says the property that is in the district with the quiet zone, noise limitations, businesses shall limit outdoor noise to promote a quiet setting. And I do not believe a playground promotes this quiet setting, as children are children, and they're loud, you know. And my wife's business, her treatment rooms are right there on the east side of the building, which are just a few feet away from the proposed playground. Now, the playground, the property, actually, I was looking at it today, it probably can hold about 5 cars for parking there, and there's a kind of a row of trees that back up to the other house. I think that there's other opportunities at this property. This is a large piece of property, and I want to stipulate that I am 100% for everything that Alan has proposed for the restaurant, for the event center, for the housing. These properties, these old properties, they're hard to find use for and protect them and save them, and it's historical. And Alan has proven that he has done that with the Manise House, and I have no doubt that he will do the same thing with the church property as well, and then increasing some density of population with the townhouses that he's proposing. I just think there is probably a space to carve out a playground somewhere else on the opposite side of the alley, on the church side of the alley. And there's also a courtyard that is in the middle of it that would be right up to the proposed daycare there. So I could get on board with the daycare. I'm a little concerned about 50 kids getting picked up in an alley at 5 o'clock on Friday afternoon with a restaurant, with an event center. It's a lot of traffic. It's a lot of traffic going through that alley. So if there's a way to work around that, and there's a way to find a different place for this parking or for this playground, then I think we could get behind it. But I don't think it fits a residential neighborhood there.
I have a Miss Michelle Fincher. Is she in the audience,
Chris?
please? And you asked to speak. I'm sorry.
Chris, do you have it?
Come on up, but he'll let him
I'm trying
ask.
to find the quiet commercial district stuff. Do you have anything on that?
I have a... let's see here. I do have a copy of it here.
It's outlined.
I
Have
can
an
find
outline
it for you
of
there.
it.
And
Can I ask Miss Michelle to go ahead and talk, or while you're looking that up, please? Miss Michelle, please identify yourself if you don't mind, ma'am. Please, go ahead. Identify
Hi.
yourself.
I'm Michelle Fincher, and I'm the owner and operator of Healing Points Acupuncture located at 216 West 5th Street. I'm also a resident at 214 West 5th Street, and I'm opposed to this ordinance for all of the same reasons that Mr. Kent stated. The proposed playground is mere feet from my building where my Quiet Healing business is located. And I think if there is a playground with children from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. where the alleyway is blocked off, my patients cannot get into the alleyway to park. As per my PUD, I have parking in the rear, and I myself go in and out of my home that way, and there hasn't been a plan as far as I can see on the ordinance for the pickup and drop off, and you know what that blocked alley looks like in reality. So I just would like to say, if I was purchasing the house 5 years ago, I've been in the business there in North Little Rock and in the home 5 years, and had there been a playground at that time, I would not have purchased the building because I knew it wouldn't be a quiet space. So it does not seem like in in Section 5, it's found to be determined that this conditional use as described herein is compatible with other businesses in the area, and my belief it is not compatible with my business that is in the area. So, thank you very much.
Where are we, by the way? Any more questions for anybody up here now? So we've suspended the rules, is that right? Mr.
You need a
Taylor?
motion for adoption.
All right.
Here, I do have a question.
Debbie, go ahead, please.
Is there any way possible to move that playground? That seems to be the biggest objection there. And as far as blocking off the alley, we have daycares that are pick up in the alley or whatever, and children that cross the alleys. We even have daycares that they cross the street. So, you know, blocking the alley, I don't see any sense in that. But as far as the playground, is there any way that there's another location for the playground?
You understand, Alan? You got it?
This is Alan. That's a great question, and we have poured over this time and time again, and unfortunately, there's no other place for it. If we can't get this playground in this location, then the playground is not, or the daycare is not going to be feasible, unfortunately.
Ms. Robinson?
Well, I
Hang on, Debbie.
remember,
If you need, hang on, do you have another question, Debbie, while you're up?
No, that's it.
All right, thank you, Ms. Robinson.
I remember the legislation for
Yeah.
it was a massage. Yeah. So I remember that. I sponsored that. And at the time, I remember the discussion about it being a quiet zoning, you know. And the daycare, you know, that was 5 years or 6 years ago. And we stressed at that time about that being a quiet zoning, you know, for that particular business. And we mentioned to her that that's what it would have to be. And so, and I agree, adding a daycare, I think with the pickup and drop off, it will no longer be what the original plan was for that particular house 5 or 6 years ago. And I can't support it.
So
Anybody
I'd like to just respond, if I could, to a
Go
few
ahead, Mr.
points, if that's
Yes, sir.
okay. So first of all, my understanding of the quiet zone is it just prohibits amplified external speakers, and it restricts noise after certain hours. It's my understanding that the quiet zone does not prohibit children playing. So that's one point that I would make. Another thing is the proposed number of children. We don't want to have 50 there. We want to have something like 35, so dramatically less than 50. Another point I would make is I'm proposing to live here as well. And so as far as traffic, we've gone through with the proposed operator on how the traffic flows would work. She has multiple locations currently. She's in neighborhoods. She doesn't have problems. She's very professional, and I have absolute confidence that we would be able to work out a very efficient flow of traffic that would get the kids in and out of there very efficiently. The other thing is when the kids are having recess, that's only a couple times a day. right? It's not like kids are going to be out there screaming and yelling all day long. It's just recess.
But you have pickup and drop-off.
You do have pickup and drop off, but that'll be a very brief amount of time in the morning and one in the afternoon, and that's it.
Mr. Taylor?
So the courtyard, you said the courtyard is just not an option for,
Courtyard's not an option. That's going to be used for restaurant and events. There's no way we could reserve that space for
okay.
playground.
It's been already
It's too
allocated
valuable.
for.
That's very valuable real estate.
And the playground is gonna be where?
On the red line to the north, that's the alley. There is a very small parcel right on the other side of the alley that came with the church. I would be very happy to explore options on putting fencing around that helps mitigate the noise. I totally understand the concerns. I will be living there myself. But I just want to say that this is an absolutely important need for the community. And in fact, the reason why I'm entertaining having a daycare in this location is absolutely because I've heard overwhelming feedback from your constituents that a daycare is needed. We've talked about a grocery desert. There's also a daycare desert. When you talk about creating jobs and getting people into the workforce, childcare is a major, major problem. When businesses think about where they're going to locate, having an available workforce is a major factor.
All right, let me go Mr. Hamilton first. Oh, no, Mr. Taylor, he's
before beauty.
Go ahead.
Let me get my thoughts in order. You go ahead.
Mr. Taylor.
Go ahead.
I'll come back to you. Mr.
No,
Harris?
you can go ahead.
That's all right, Mr.
Yeah.
Harris.
So, Councilmember Taylor, I listened to the discussion. I was not, I'd like to put my eyes on it. And I'm sorry, but I think it needs to be held because I just want to put my eyes on it. I mean, I wish I'd have known.
Unfortunately, we have to move forward. We've been working on this for a year. It's a small parcel. We'd be happy to, I don't know what to tell you. It's a small, I think it's 2 car spaces of space back there.
Mr. Hamilton?
I'm inclined to support it for the following reasons. Where my children, first of all, I'm a supporter of childcare and daycares. And I remember one of my first sponsorships was one over off Pike that had an alley issue to it. But the market for daycares is tight right now. And I'm inclined to try to find a way to get a daycare downtown. Certainly not at any expense, but I do like it. I do like the idea of more daycares. The other thing is I'm thinking about my children's daycare and playground at Park Hill Baptist. It's in the middle of a residential area. There are homes all around it. To me, children are part of residential areas. I absolutely understand they're not conducive to restful acupuncture businesses. I can't make those two things coincide. And I do understand that issue. But to me, playgrounds, children playing, is literally the epitome of a residential area. And that's my thought on it. It is new information to me, or not new information, but I had not considered the Argenta Quiet Commercial Overlay District. And if it would prohibit loud children playing, or children playing on a playground, then I would take this into consideration. I do see that it says businesses shall limit outdoor noise to promote a quiet setting. I can see that as it literally says commercial overlay district. I mean, for a residential area, I can't consider children playing to be a violation of that. It also says use of outdoor speaker systems or amplified sound is not permitted in the district. I don't see a violation there. And then it says no business may operate between the hours of 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. I don't see this violating the spirit. I don't see children playing as violating the spirit of the Argenta Quiet Commercial Overlay District. I am a friend of Chris and Michelle, and I don't like being in this situation, but I'm a fan of playgrounds, and I don't see this as violating any of our regulations.
Mr. Taylor?
Mayor, could I speak quick?
Yes, go ahead, Ms. Ross.
Okay, so one question is, what age group? You said, I mean, in the legislation it says 50 children, and Alan said 35 children. I'm just curious the ages for this daycare.
Toddlers and preschool.
I'm sorry, what was that?
He said toddlers and preschool, Ms. Ross. Toddlers and preschool.
So as far as the playground, it's not like 35 children are going to be out there on that playground at one time. Toddlers, there's a lot of them that don't even go out to the playground. There's a lot of days that they're not in there. So, if you think 50 kids on the playground, I think of, one of the public elementary schools in the large playground. So maybe Councilmember Robinson can elaborate on that as far as, she knows more about daycares than I do, as far as, how many kids are actually out there at one time. And like you said, it's only twice a day.
She asked you.
Come on.
It's in my court. My concern, I remember this legislation, and I remember how some of you weren't up here at the time, but I remember how, we discussed it, we talked about it needed to be quiet, and that was the consensus at the time. Now, children, I don't have a problem with children playing, but what my problem is that 5 or 6 years ago, we told her what we wanted and what we expected. She has followed that. She could have had it loud with a bunch of traffic, customers coming in that alleyway, and, she could have done all of that unbeknownst to us, but we told her that it would be a quiet business, and that's why we allowed it. Now, before she purchased that property, there was another business owner in there that lived upstairs. It was quiet. And so even though I don't have a problem, for the record, I don't have a problem with kids playing. My thing is, I know what we said 5 years ago, and I am not willing to change that.
Mr. Taylor?
So we said for her business to be a quiet business.
Right.
Okay, she has a quiet business. I think he's gonna have a quiet business. Because here's my question. Mayor, can I see your little fancy pointer there?
My what? Oh, pointer, yes, sir.
Yeah.
There you go.
Very fancy here.
It is fancy.
So, what would, this is a duplex right here, and there's a couple more houses right here. I mean, are those just residences? People live in those houses? So what happens if a family moves in there with 5 kids?
I guess they couldn't.
And they came outside to play. How would that be any different than the daycare?
Number of kids, maybe. But
Number of kids.
kids play. That's a neighborhood. That's a residence.
We are talking about toddlers.
But it,
Hang on one at a time, wait, please. If you're gonna go, I'll go, Mr. Insularco, from you, Mr. Baxter, please.
So that, and then, I mean, I read over, and Councilmember Hamilton went over the quiet commercial district. I mean, we have daycares all over the place, and they're There are in plenty areas that's C1, quiet commercial. The overlay district was put on this area because it was residential.
Got you. Mr. Insularco.
Quick question. You had mentioned putting a fence around the playground if that would help with the noise, and plus I think that a fence would be better for safety reasons too. What would be the opinion of those opposed to that as far as if they did put a fence to help with some of that noise? Could that be some kind of common ground?
No, Chris, I gotta have you come forward. I'm sorry, I apologize, but did you hear the question, please?
I did hear the question. The fence was required by planning in the conditional use of this. And I mean, so we're hearing that they're going to be 2 times a day that people are going to be on the playground. And what times are those going to be? And is that going to be enforced if this goes through? And what does limited access to the alley mean? Those are words. So once this gets voted on, we can't go backwards. And then we're going to be, if there's problems with it, then we're all trying to figure out what to do, and everybody's like, we already voted on it, we already did this, we can't go back and fix it, and it's like you end up with a vape shop or a smoke shop on JFK, and you can't go back and fix it. So what does that look like? What does limited access to the alley from 6 to 6 p.m. mean?
Mr. Baxter.
I've lost my train of thought. But one question I have is, though, the term or the phrase twice a day has been thrown out on more than one occasion. However, I don't see twice a day listed in the legislation anywhere. So again, worst case scenario, which was brought to light several weeks ago. I mean, there's nothing to preclude them from having recess. Even though I don't know that you have recess in daycare, you have outside time perhaps, as much as 4 times a day. I don't know.
Anybody
Mayor,
else?
can I speak quick?
Go ahead,
Mayor,
Ms. Ross.
can I speak?
Say again.
Is the alley a public alley? Is it owned by the city? Is it a city?
It's a functioning public alley.
I don't see how we can limit an alley for a private business. I would like to amend out 3 and remove number 3 in section 2 where the vehicle access to the alley. I don't see how we can do that. We do that for no other business whatsoever.
Mr. Hamilton?
I'll
get to you in just a sec. Hang on just a minute. Go ahead, Mr. Hamilton.
I agree with Councilmember Ross that they cannot close it. It has to be available, but the way it reads, I think that they could satisfy that by, as the children are crossing, like had someone with a stop sign type thing, like a crossing guard, and they could, if we left it in there, we would have something to hold them to.
Mr. Pownell?
Alderman Hamilton, you're on the right track. That item number 3 is meant not to limit cars, but just for the moment they cross the alley into the parking lot. Think of like a movie theater, how they come out there with a little thing and block it real quick, comes right back. We're not trying to limit traffic. We're not saying you can't drive through between 6 and 6. It's simply to get the kids across the street at that moment.
They're not allowed to block off the alley.
We're not blocking the alley. We're not keeping cars from going through there or anything. It's just simply a safety thing to get them into the playground across the alley.
All right. Any more questions?
I do. I still don't like the wording on 3. The limited access, this is a conditional use, so when this person sells, they're no longer there and another daycare owner comes in and they read this and they think that they can limit it any time. So then we need to amend 3, take it out or whatever, or just limited access crossing the children to the playground. I don't, Amy, help me out. But the wording on this is, it's giving them limited, then they set the limit rather than, they limit for an hour during daycare.
And I agree with Councilmember Ross that this is not very well worded.
Nope.
And I would almost suggest saying something like, instead of the vehicle access is going to be limited, that the daycare will provide safety measures when children are crossing the alley.
So moved.
I agree.
Second.
Uh-huh.
Look, you
Did you hear that?
look at Park Hill back.
Did you hear that, Ms.
Kids
Ross?
cross all. I do, but,
all
and
right.
absolutely, yeah.
And-
They're not charged. I mean, that's what crossing guards are for.
All right, you heard there was a motion on that amendment, and there was a second. Did you hear that?
Yes.
All right, was Ms.
Okay.
Fields read it again, please?
The language in paragraph 3 will be amended to say that the daycare will provide safety measures by using a crossing guard when children are crossing the alley.
There was a motion on that, and I heard a second on the amendment.
Call it.
On the amendment, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insularco?
Yes.
Height?
Yes.
Now, anything else for discussion? If not, I'm going to call for a vote as amended.
Well, we need a motion to adopt.
to
as
adopt
amended.
as amended.
Motion to adopt as amended.
I second Councilmember Heights' motion.
You got a motion, you got a second.
Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Wait a minute, we're voting on,
You're
Adoption
voting-
as
Adoption as
amended.
amended.
like you had a question or a statement.
You can't even see it on the map. No, nobody can even see where it is. So it would be great if somebody like Alderman Harris said, get your eyes on it, and you can see across the street where those trees are, but nobody can really see what this looks like from this view. So I just would like to encourage everybody to try to take a little bit
Guys in
closer.
the back there, have you got another picture that shows it looking to the east or northeast? Have y'all got another one there possibly?
We can't see what looks like.
Exhibit A.
Playground, the proposed playground
All right, thank you. That's what I was asking.
It's right under the shade of the tree. It's a size of about 2 parking lots, parking spaces.
And I will say that this has been motioned to be adopted as amended, and the vote has started.
Yes.
Thank you. Go ahead, keep calling, Jim.
Yes, sir. We've gotten to Councilmember Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
No.
Okay. Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Pass.
Insularco?
Pass.
Height?
Yes.
How many yes votes was that? 4?
He voted yes.
5, 3.
There were, okay, there were 5, okay, thank you. I was just making sure we
I
got
know,
to
I was
5.
counting them too, so.
Okay. On the emergency, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insularco?
Yes.
Height?
Yes.
O-2421, Councilmember Taylor.
Please call it.
An ordinance granting a special use to allow an event center in a C6 zone for certain real property located at 201 West 4th Street in the city of North Little Rock, declaring an emergency, first reading.
Move to suspend the readings.
Second.
All right. Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insularco?
Yes.
Height?
Yes.
Motion for adopt.
So move.
Second.
Hang on, there's a motion, second, Mr. Baxter.
What's the occupancy for this?
Mr. Engstrom?
That may be a fire marshal question. I believe it is around 250.
Is Fire Marshal still here back there? Chief Alman?
What?
Warren Allman. I have not measured it to see what the occupant load capacity of the building will be, and it's a pretty good sized building that's broke up into different sections, and so I would have to actually measure it out, and I would have to know which section of the building we're referring to. That's going to be the event center, because evidently some of it's going to be daycare and some of it's going to be other things, so.
Got you. Did anybody understand the question? He says it's going to be broken up into 3 different sections. Debbie, Ms. Ross, where it's going to be an event center, it's going to be a daycare, and also be, what else, Alan? What?
So we're asking for an event center tonight. So that would be the chapel, which is the gray roof area.
Okay.
And we would plan on having groups of around 250 in that space.
Mr. Hamilton?
As a church, and this may be a question for anybody or everybody, as a church, did they have events there? Like potlucks or weddings at the church?
Church.
Or, you know,
Whatever the church does,
For sure.
okay.
weddings.
All right. So where are we again, Mr. Baxter?
Real quick, so does that ordinance that you alluded to earlier, the quiet Dumaflachi,
I believe it
Quiet
shows
ordinance.
this within the quiet description district that I'm showing. And to read to everyone, the design standards and regulations are very short. Hours of operation, no business may operate between the hours of 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. So according to this, their events would have to end at 10 p.m. The noise limitations are businesses shall limit outdoor noise to promote a quiet setting. Use of outdoor speaker systems or amplified sound is not permitted in the district. And exterior illumination, all illumination shall be shielded and directed away from adjacent property.
These would be indoor events, so that would conform with the quiet zone.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. Anybody else? All right,
I have a question.
Ms. Ross, go.
What about park?
Huh?
What about parking?
What about
Is there a
parking?
parking lot?
Great question. So I own the block to the south. One parking lot in the middle there has 42 spaces. And then on the other side of the white building on the south there is another 70 spaces. And then we will have a row of 11 spaces as well on the property itself.
Approximately 100 spots.
And, okay, so this is one for the fire marshal though, because I know when we get into the sprinkler system, because we've gotten into this with others, we don't know yet whether this would require a sprinkler system in the
It
event
will.
center, correct?
We've met with the fire marshal. We're in compliance. Go ahead.
Okay.
I believe y'all indicated that you're intending to install a sprinkler system into the building, so they're going to have a sprinkler system in the building when this is all wrapped up.
Thank you.
Good
All
deal.
right, anybody else? Call it.
We're ready to call it. Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
We did.
I'm sorry, Ms. Robinson?
Yes.
Said yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
Height?
Yes.
On the emergency, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
Height?
Yes.
O-2422.
Thank you, Mr.
Councilman-
Engstrom. Thank you very much. All right, let's go.
I'm sorry,
022, Mr. Baxter.
Please call it.
An ordinance granting a conditional use to allow minor auto repairs in the C3 zone for property located at 12,601 Maumelle Boulevard in the city of North Little Rock, declaring emergency, first reading.
Move to suspend all readings.
Second.
Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
Height?
Yes.
Move
Is
for
that a
adoption.
is that a typo?
Hang on.
A typo has got Baxter on there instead of Taylor.
I mean, he's got every one so far. All right, go ahead, call it.
You got a lot tonight.
Yes. Good.
Pretty good.
Go ahead, Jim.
Do we have a motion and a second?
There was a motion, was there a motion second?
Yes.
Yes.
There was a motion by Taylor and second by Harris.
Very good. Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
Height?
Yes.
On the emergency, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
Height?
Yes.
So that concludes new business.
Thank you. Public comment tonight, I have Mr. Harlan Hunter. Harlan, are you still here? Okay. Come on up, please, sir. 3 minutes, please, sir.
My name is Harlan Hunter. I'm the president of Barron Cross. I was coming today because there were some issues that's taking place as far as the urban gardening, finances, monies that was allocated for grants that we're not receiving. There are certain things that's being taken place as far as those fundings has been going different places, but they've been using Barron Cross name. And those are one of the things I want to address with you, the council, because we want to come to an end where people have been using Barron Cross. The money should have been allocated for that particular area and not receiving that particular area. Somehow or another, people are going around and doing different things and saying that we're partners and we're doing this, and that's not the truth. So what I'm ending up doing coming in the near future, Mayor, since we have also talked about different things as well, for as the garden and food desert and food concerns for our food desert, but somehow it's not getting done. It's not getting done. But I will like to say this, and I'm part of that. We have discussed about diversity among boards. Congratulations to Mr. Dyson for being a board member today. But one of the things that I definitely want to make sure that we look at is where's the money going? Like I said, if you pull up anything for as Barron Cross, somehow or another, there's been over $400,000 spent in the last 5 years. You can't see it. Produce is not being produced. We only grown greens in the tunnels for 2 years. So, like I said, I would like to bring that attention to you, Mayor, and to the city council people, therefore, as where's the money going that has been allocated for Barron Cross.
Thank you. Ms. Darlene Worthen? Yes, ma'am. 3 minutes, please.
Yes, thank you very much for the friendly reminder. My name is Darlene Worthen. I'm here today on behalf of Rose City community, where I was raised at, left here 30 years, came back to Rose City, and Rose City is still the same, if not worse. Just want to bring attention to the council board and all the members. Mr. Robertson, you are my alderman. It's a blessing to put a face with your name. We have been trying to contact you by phone, no voicemail or anything to contact you. We would like to see the Rose City, I'm speaking on behalf of them. I am an entrepreneur and a two-time business owner in Rose City. I'm a minister of Rose City to help provide our area. I have a project coming up called Lift Up Rose City, Life Up Rose City, to bring life to Rose City. As I live there, I see a lot of things that are dying away. No life is in Rose City. There's no attention brought to the community help for the children. I see none of that in our city of Rose City area. When I lived there before, Jerry Dotson, congratulations. My mom raised me and him up in the same home. Congratulations on your accomplishment. Again, I just want to bring attention to our area of Rose City. There's a lot I want to say. I only have 3 minutes, but I guarantee that I will be back again and again and again and again until we do something to bring life to Rose City community. Thanks for listening.
Thank you very much. No more, see, I will have to also, I need to bring up, Amy's going to remind me, I need a vote to move the council meeting from April 8th to Tuesday, April 9th. But all those in favor say aye. Aye. Thank you very much. If anybody else on the council members has any comments, if not,
So moved.
so moved. Thank you.
Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter? Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
Height?
Yes.